Hello. Um,
This
this is part one of the four-part series of
poem analysis.
poem analysis. The first poem we're going to be talking about is London, 1802 by Wordsworth. So the first line says, Milton.
Well, let's talk about generally what it's about.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
generally, it's written by Wordsworth, and it talks about England in a sense of how he wants Milton, who was an English poet, to come back and pretty much to revive England to the way that it used to be.
Yeah.
And he mentions a lot of things of the past and how great it used to be, and
also how people don't really appreciate what the history and things that England has given them.
yeah.
So.
All right. So the first line says, "Milton, thou shalt be living at this hour." So Milton was an English poet who influenced Wordsworth greatly.
Yeah, they had a lot of they had a lot of the same ideas, I guess, ideals and things like that. Because he fought the church a lot and he hated tyranny, which is the same as Wordsworth.
Okay, so then England hath need of thee, she is a fen. So she's a fen. It's a metaphor. A fen is a wetlands, and she is also England.
So like he's basically saying, so Milton, like you need to come back, and because England needs you, which is what we were just talking about. The meaning is.
And so it says, so she is a fen of stagnant waters, and obviously stagnant is kind of dead. It has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah, so like wetlands and stuff like that, it's kind of groggy and gross, and it's not doing much. When England's just stopped staying still, it used to be like a really big productive country, or whatever. And now it's just all gross.
Yeah, and
the next
then
bit's good though.
And then it says, okay, so of stagnant waters, altar, sword, and pen. These are all synecdoches. Altar is talking about religion. Sword is talking about military, and the pen is talking about literature. But since England's a fen of stagnant waters of religion, military, and literature, obviously they're not producing or of what greatness they used to in religion, military, and literature.
I just thought it was funny that Wordsworth, there you go, Wordsworth like picked those things to symbolize each part that he thought was really important in Britain, which was religion, military, and literature.
Yeah. Alright, so then Fireside, the heroic wealth of hall and bower. So Fireside, you kind of have this imagery of luxury to a sense. The Fireside, the heroic wealth, it's kind of prominent. And the heroic wealth of hall. Hall, generally English homes had halls in them where they'd put famous things or something that was prized to them. And bower is a private apartment inside of a castle, so this line kind of gives you a picture of old England, almost a sense.
So they're saying there's a lot of things that should be prized in England, and that because like you were saying, like where they put hall and bower, or like where you would put things like your trophies and your prized china set or something.
Yep. And they're saying, so these people who live in these heroic wealths and halls and stuff, they have forfeited their ancient English dower. So they've given up their wisdom and their history of what Britain had to offer to them.
And I think there's like Wordsworth is talking about like everybody in England's done that. Like he's blaming the whole of the people, so their ancient English dower. So a dower, if you want to talk about the diction on that.
Yeah, dower is land that was given to a widow from England, and they're saying that these people have given up their English dower. Yeah. So it's like they're giving up what has been given to them, to a sense. Of inward happiness, we are selfish men. So kind of inward happiness. Gosh, what am I saying?
The English dower of inward happiness. So I guess inside all of England, there's all this lovely things to have and things like that, and it's all inside. Like it may not be to the people outside. They may not. The other countries or whatever, other people might not know about it, but England's got so much to hold about itself that people can be proud of.
But of inward happiness can also be of what's only best for that individual, not for the entire country. So we are selfish men. The next line kind of verifies that. So he's saying that Wordsworth, pretty much in this first half, that he needs to come back because England used to be great, but now the people who live in it now are kind of becoming selfish and not promoting it to the best standard that it used to be. Oh, raise us up, return to us again. He wants him to come back and raise England up and give us manners, virtue, and freedom.
But like he wants to show his desperation though, because he writes "oh" at the beginning, which is just strange sounding. But I think also it adds a syllable that it
like
needs,
in that Shakespeare play, the one he said "oh."
Yeah, so he's kind of like really sad about it.
Return to us again kind of is like an allusion to Jesus almost, because it's like returning from the dead and come back to kind of save us.
Yeah,
Um,
Wordsworth wasn't a very religious person, but he got really into the church, and he understood a lot about what its policies were and things like that. But he fought against a lot what he didn't agree with, which is where he would probably know a lot about
yeah,
the Bible and
and
things like
then
that.
and give us manner, virtue, freedom, and power. That's kind of a quartet and lists four abstract nouns compared to the beginning, where there's a triplet and it listed three concrete
With the
nouns.
altar, sword, and pen.
Yeah. Um, Thy soul was like a star. So the second half of this poem, he pretty much just talks about Milton the entire time, and just kind of glorifies him the entire time, and doesn't really talk about England that much.
Mm-hmm.
But thy soul was like a star into all the part. Thou hadst a voice whose sound was like the sea, pure as the naked heavens, majestic, free. So didst thou travel on life's common way in cheerful godliness, and yet thy heart the lowliest duties on herself did lay. So pretty much just saying that Milton was a humble man. He wasn't rich. He was common, lived normally. They talk about the heavens and godliness, and
Mm-hmm.
stars, or I don't think, yeah, stars and the sea. It's kind of celestial images.
What I thought was interesting is that in the first line that Bren just wrote, like a star is capitalized, and we were thinking maybe it could be a reference to the North Star because that was like guiding to people, and Milton was really guiding to Wordsworth.
Yeah, had a voice whose sound was like the sea. Its reification was like
Mm-hmm.
the sea. Simile. There's also imagery, and because England is kind of surrounded by water, so
I
it's kind
guess
of a
that's
nature.
relevant. Yeah.
Um, we thought pure as the naked heavens is kind of redundant because when you're naked in the heavens and pure, it's all kind of the same thing.
I guess he's just emphasizing it or something. Yeah.
Majestic and free. He also had a lot of lists in this because I think it creates a lot of images
Mm-hmm.
immediately
I
whenever
think
you
he
read
wanted
them.
this to sound really poetic as well because he made thou has a voice who sound like the sea, pure as the naked heavens, majestic, free. He made that like rhyme, and I think he just really wanted to make Milton sound really just nice and like a wonderful person, and like symbolize him as being
Yeah,
wonderful.
and then in cheerful godliness, and yet thy heart the lowliest duties on herself did lay. Um, there's a lot of kind of old writing in this, and it just makes it sound very sophisticated in a certain way.
Yeah, so these are the lines that tell you that Milton's the same as everybody else. So didst thou travel on life's common way? So like he did, he went the same way as most men did. Yet I think he did a lot of things, and he was
Yeah,
selfless and things like that. So, and he was in the lowliest duties, so it means he wasn't afraid of taking on unglamorous tasks, and he was humble and things like that. So, everything that Wordsworth thought England and people should be.
so that kind of wraps that part up. Thank you.
Check you later.